Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to
Oh,
To Die for RPG.
We've got the top of Carlos's head.
Don't, damn it, Carlos,
and
you
I need
should
to
be.
crouch down to. Ooh,
I was unaware. Are we on the internet? There
Yes,
we
we
are.
are.
We are on the whoa.
we
Oh,
are
right, just
on the
shifted.
interwebs. Yeah, you have some issues with.
Yeah, you're a little off-centered there.
Yeah, nope, the other way. I'm adjusting you anyway, sir. Stay
That's
there.
fine.
I've
I'm
adjusted
gonna.
you.
Oh no! Oh no! What's happening?
Booster's sticking out.
Yeah, I'm sticking out over the
Crap.
edge
Right.
right here.
There. Damn it. Wrong
Hey,
one.
Froggy.
These are the sort of things you should do before the broadcast.
I thought
right?
I thought I had it. Why?
We
I
are
told them
extra
technical
professional.
difficulties.
Yeah, apparently the streaming key had changed. So
That's
Oh, you know what I
hold
need
on.
to do? Let's see.
we needed to reacquire the key to the stream with the words and girls
No.
and well, who am I kidding? There is no girls in our audience. There's just some
Oh.
greasy guys over there.
Now you guys have maps over your faces.
Yep. Nope.
Uh-huh. Finally, the quality of the stream has improved.
Don't have to look at his face anymore.
Okay.
No girls on the internet, only men pretending to be girls. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, girl is an abbreviation for guy in real life.
That's the best I'm going to be able to do with the way you're positioned yourself.
Wooster's off to the corner.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I can move. I have wheels.
Yeah.
Ooh,
As I say, just basically your
that's a
current
really
position,
good idea.
and then you do it the other way around just to annoy me.
Yes, I will.
Right. They're staying in that position. If you move out of frame, it's on you guys.
No, it's on you. I blame you.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Die for RPG, where I am running the game with these bunch of reprobates who allow me to torture them.
Torture them as much as you torture my sense of aesthetics with the placement of the bottom three windows.
Uh-oh.
Yes, I'm making him more trouble.
No, you all got the right names. I'm just double checking that, making sure I'm not accidentally have you in the
No,
wrong
I
windows.
mean the two bottom windows, the one with the oddly squarey areas with black backgrounds and.
Yeah, I'm not pulling them out
Totally
any longer.
Eh, well, maybe we'll get a new interface by next time.
Right.
I'm going to deceive you into thinking it looks correct. Yes.
Yeah. So
Oh, bluff.
How did I do?
Before we go on to the
Fantastic.
game there, we will be, as of next month, we will just confirm our schedule in case we forget to confirm that at the
That
end.
is an excellent point. So, John, you want to go first on the 13th? Or
Yeah,
do you want to go second?
I'll go second, and I
the-
think we'll have.
That's the 20th for you.
Yeah.
Carlos, you'll take then the 13th, and I'll go on the 28th. 27th.
28th is a Monday.
That's cool with you?
And
Yes.
the 6th will be our break weekend, folks.
Yeah, so next week, no show. Many of us will be fishing or something.
Okay.
Yeah, fishing. Right.
Or
Yes, no.
something.
Yeah, the or something is your already go-to option in this difficult
Fishing
times.
in the snow.
Also,
Catching
as some
frozen
people will have noticed last week, there was a other technical issue with a blank screen. There's apologies
Yes,
for that. There was a cat involved.
It turns out my cat really decided to stream, and I left my OBS on, and he figured out how to press enter. And there was a 7-hour stream of my cat just sitting next to the keyboard and not being on camera.
To be fair,
As you
We got
do.
raided by 16 people from Lawful Stupid RPG.
though, to be fair with the
Yes, for
internet,
us.
if your cat was on the camera, that probably would have got more attention than our actual stream, knowing our luck.
Yeah, I probably
well, I'll
should
put it this
start
way.
a cat stream, right?
Yeah.
There are 349 people currently watching a stream called Adorable Kittens. So yes,
Yeah,
it would have gotten more views.
that's where we've been going wrong, folks. We've
Yeah,
not
we
been
need a
giving
cat
you
on the stream.
the cat content you want.
We
I know.
used to
Well, here you-
back in the
here you
days.
go. Here you go. Here's your
Back
cat
in the
content.
days when we still had Patreons, we used to have cat streams. But now,
King Kong kitty.
nowadays,
Oh my god, do you remember the first time Foxy was just calling back here in midair?
Yeah.
That was lovely.
and now all we have is Galen showing us his pussy.
Oh, nice.
To die for how we are still streaming, we do not know.
And Twitch is trying to stop us
Yeah.
by changing out the streaming fees, but we are too clever for them.
Okay. I think that's us bantered enough. So let's get the.
You mean banned enough?
So to confirm, next week no show, and then
Next
it's
week,
going to
no
be the finality of Mice,
Yep.
and then we're going to
Yep.
do some more John, and then we'll go from there.
Then is my show, and my show is dun, 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 going to be then.
Yes. All right. Cool. Deal.
Okay. So.
Can you up the volume globally? You're a little lower than last week.
Okay.
And thanks, Froggy. We missed Foxy too.
Foxy was amazing.
Yes.
How is the volume now?
There.
Cats in
There
the
we go.
cradle on silver spoon, a little boy blue and the man on the moon.
Okay.
Nice.
I thought it
So
was cats in the
And that's
kettle
demonetized.
at the
What?
greasy
Yeah.
spoon.
When you coming home, son?
are we trying to get
I
this
don't know when.
demonetized by as many groups as possible?
No. I'll say again.
And damn it, Steve.
Yeah, a blinky. Please don't change cameras mid podcast because now he has to adjust the windows again.
Sorry. There. Is that better?
No, the damage is done.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, I'm up there now. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'll make sure I'm a cat before the
Every
stream starts next
streamer
time.
goes through this. They do it at least once.
But now I'm off to the side for some reason.
Yeah.
So now you see how the sausage is made. It's a dirty process.
Yeah, very dirty process. Alright, I'll try and adjust you, Stephen.
I give you a single up vote. It's green, so it doesn't
There.
show.
Okay.
Now it's a down vote.
Okay. Joking aside, we all behaving now.
No,
No, I'm gonna be a cat again. No, just kidding.
Don't you dare.
don't you freaking dare.
Please don't take it personally.
I think I might just treble my fate points for this to use against you guys. Anyway, so back in the tavern that all of you gentlemen have been recounting your story, you find yourselves in. Night has passed. You've spent the night, and you're sitting at a table, and the bartender comes and sets his bowl, the bowls of food for you.
Is it the eternity stew?
That mixed with some sort of porridge by the looks of it.
Oh, fresh food. Cool.
And he just goes, yes, here you go, gentlemen. And how did you all sleep last night?
It is a lot better than sleeping on the ground. No stones in my back for once.
That's good to hear.
One eye open.
It's quite surprising the story that you're telling. You kind of left at an unnatural point. I'm guessing there's still a bit more to the tale.
Yes. Well, the problem was that we had split up. After the attack, and Galen and I, we fought off the invading, I don't know, what did they call it again?
Horde?
No.
Penguin.
Corrupted.
Corrupted, yes.
Yes, the corrupted. When we found and we chased one of the ringleaders we chased him through the city, through the rooftops, one of the ringleaders that was causing some of this chaos. We turned them in, but in that process, Darien had gone off. Isn't that right?
It is.
Yes, that would be correct. I rode as fast as I could towards my brethren to the south, over the river far away, where I found their encampment within, just a single soul left standing. Fearing worse, that it was corrupted, I approached it with my weapon drawn.
And at that point, we'll fade back to the actual memory and the story.
Can't we remember more now?
Yes, Darien. In front of you is the figure, the lone figure in this camp of Thormas. Sword and shield dangling from his arms. They're the point of his longsword trailing in the ground. You just see him breathing, and he just goes, "We've been betrayed. Our brother's life fallen, killed."
Betrayed by who? Said Thomas.
I hate to say this, but I believe that someone, either in the church or in the Templars, has betrayed us.
Seems I was too late. I should have ridden with more haste. I could have stopped it.
One man stopped this. I mean, you know how many people have been in this camp. There was 100 of us.
And only 2 of us now.
And he just looks and he goes, "Blood, I must have been cracked on the head during the fight." As he's putting his hand to his head and he pulls it back, you do see the crimson colour blood on his hand, and he just staggers and goes down to a knee at that point.
Was there any fighting before you got hit?
There was fighting during the night. I was able to get my armour on in time. The men held off the attackers long enough, but I got out and fought a foe or two. I could smell the corruption. I could also hear the howls.
suspicion deep in my mind.
Mm.
I looked through at him. He mentioned he didn't actually get to fight, but he's still covered in crimson blood. I look for the signs of a corruption. This one could be deceiving me.
Give me...
Empathy?
Thinking that.
Yeah,
too.
give me an empathy roll, yeah. Give me an empathy roll. And...
Terrible.
Terrible, okay. Give me
I'm
a
going to use a
second.
long
fate
lost
point.
friend.
Fate point to re-roll that.
If you want.
Plus-
I'm gonna do it as a contested roll.
Okay.
And I don't need to do that.
No, he's still your friend.
So I'm re-rolling either way.
Oh, right.
Fair
That
Oh,
was
Fair
no.
enough. What,
I can
what-
take the +2. So
What's the actual fate point? What's the aspect you're using for this?
I'm using my high concept. This is visionary seeker. I am. I seek with my vision the signs of corruption.
You're trying to seek the truth. Okay. There.
Yeah.
Okay. +2.
Yeah, +2.
Just a reminder to all you guys, if you have used up fate points in the previous episode, you will go back up to your refresh number.
Yep. I go down to 2.
Yeah. Yes. Darien is looking over Sir Thormas, and you're not getting anything that would indicate the smell of corruption or the reek of corruption that you're used to. But what you're seeing is Sir Thormas is deeply troubled. We are talking about a man who would appear to be potentially has survived the destruction of his company. Also, by the looks of it, as he tries to get up, he turns his head. You do see that there's a nasty gash on the back of his head there.
Oh.
So it looks like he might be suffering from, what we would think of as a concussion, So he might be, confused from that.
Oh.
In your world, you wouldn't know about a concussion, but you would at least know about the issue of such blows to the head, though. About the confusion that soldiers can represent when they have taken such blows. You would be aware of that, though.
Yes. Huh. At least it cannot be said he let them down voluntarily. Sir Thomas. But it seems odd they have taken everyone but you with them. There's no one else in this camp, not even dead body. Not that I've found one.
That doesn't make sense.
Maybe they thought he was. Oh, sorry, I'm not there. Never mind.
Yes, that's a very acute hearing, Galen. You've got.
It was the other guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, sorry, that's not mine.
Yeah, it's not yours. Yes, Darien. He just looks. Is there no other tracks?
I yet to analyze the ground for tags. It is not my forte. But I will go ahead and look. Yourself, try and relax. The injury in your head is not going to give in for a few days.
He's just looking and he
Don't
goes,
try to be empathetic with the tracks. You're not good at it.
he just goes, he just looks. and you just see him dart for the big command tent.
Yeah, well, since I'm being next to it, I tend to open up the flaps of the tent.
It's just as you're opening up and you peer inside, the entire you know the layout for these command tents. There would be the chests and the bed and all that. And there would be at the back would be the bed, okay, and then the chest, the armor stands for the commanding officer. There would be also towards the front would be a table for any of the officers where they can lay out maps. Table's been upturned, okay. Middle section is an area where if there is then going to be any sort of, not personal chest, but any chest of importance would be stored there. All the chests have been opened, overturned. The place has been made a mess of.
That does not surprise me at all. For one, everything valuable is in the commander's tent, including the payroll.
Yeah. So you just see him where is it? It has to be here somewhere. And he is lifting up papers, flinging them behind him, frantically searching. They can't have got to it. Got to. He then sees a bag, a velvet bag lying on the floor, grabs it like a man dying of thirst would grab a flask of water in the desert, upturns it, and he slumps as it's clear that it's empty.
So they took it.
They've got part of the Eye of Underland.
Turns out we must follow the text after all.
He just turns and he just grabs Darien. It's not just that they've got the eye. We were tasked to bring it to the city of Burnlands. It was meant to be a demonstration by our people that we had nothing to do with the murder of the king. They're expecting this.
I am aware. I was supposed to secure the direct route to the phone. I only received the message today.
It's not just that, Darren. We can't afford a war with the Vale at the moment. After you left, we received word that our men in the east, on crusade, have come across another surviving state from the end days.
Another state of the end days?
We're talking months of travel out in the east. There's been fighting. More of the legions have been prepared. They're not going to the Burnlands. They're being sent east to protect our territories in the east.
Oh. That came out of nowhere. Oh. So we can't afford a two-front war. That's hardly a surprise.
Darien, we might be looking at a free front row. We've got corsairs in the seas also. The Hiss appear to have hired raiders and reavers from the Isles. They're of course denying any such actions, but they had to get past the Hiss somehow. We can't afford a war.
Unknown is the will of God. But we will find a way through this. I will search for the text. You, I find out what it is that we have left to work with.
And he just nods, and it's at this point we'll come back to Roscoe and Galen. Gentlemen, my question to you is, have you been riding through the night? Have you taken any rest or respite?
Well, given we know we're going to get some rest at the end, we should probably just keep going. Oh, no.
All right. We chased, you mean in chasing after
Darien.
Darien?
Yeah.
No.
Figuring he wasn't trying to hide his tracks, so we shouldn't have any difficulty following him.
Right. Can I get the two of you to do...
You got it.
Physical rolls, please. Difficulty is 1.
Physical. I don't add anything to it, right?
No.
Or I don't subtract a 1.
Okay, fair enough.
We both went to the fair.
Fair enough. Okay.
Fair, very good. Fair enough. Yes.
Right.
That wasn't even intentional in your person.
Yep. That's good enough. Okay. Both of you are feeling the fatigue, though, but you're able to push yourselves on at the moment. But the thing I'll just warn you, depending on if you keep pushing it on, the will and stamina for yourselves to keep on going is going to increase. You'll eventually have to rest, but it'll be a question of when. Right.
Rest when we're dead.
Okay, gentlemen, you're on the road there. What can I get a notice roll from the both of you? Difficulties.
And there's my notice.
Yeah. Oh.
Damn.
Okay, we're clones. Send in the clones.
You're synchronized, gentlemen. There.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, we're just came off the battle. We're both psyched out. We're still.
You've got the adrenaline pumping, yeah.
He definitely came this way.
Mm-hmm. Yes. You can see the turfs of soil that's been turned up from the horse that's been galloping, and that is still quite fresh. So, and there is only the one set of hooves there that you're seeing. But it is just...
Oh, silver, away!
At this speed that he was going, he was really in a hurry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Our horses are soon to be give up, but I'm sure his was equally as tired at the rate that he was galloping.
Mm-hmm.
And he has
Come on.
all that extra
Could be
armor on.
close.
It's at the point that we're talking about, the sun has started to rise, okay? In the east. The sun,
Good place for it to rise.
yeah. You don't know. Could be coming from the north, what we think of as the north, the south.
Is it one sun? Is it two suns? Who knows, man?
Yeah. Another one comes from the west. No, I'm joking.
I'm gonna Tatooine it on myself.
the sunlight, piercing through the treetops. They're reddish in color. Now, out of you two gentlemen, are you two sharing the same horse, or have you got yourselves?
I think we're going on this two different horses.
Yeah, I would think we got horses from.
I think after helping with the thing, they were like, "Here, yeah, take some horses." We're like, "Sure,
Yeah.
I got one. You got one."
Yeah.
Just make things easier.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Fair enough. And if we did state otherwise, it's been retconned. That's just what's always happened in the first place.
But he's got a little horse.
So who's in? Would you be riding together, or would one of you be in the lead?
Roscoe would be in the need.
I was gonna say side by side, but okay, he went ahead.
Okay. Is
Great. I get all
maybe-
your horse shit in my face.
Yes,
maybe
that
after,
is why I chose to be in the lead.
maybe after 30 odd minutes of riding with the sun rising, you hear a crack off into the woods.
Slow down the horses.
I'll slow mine down so I don't run up his ass. Or his horse in this case.
That way, there is something.
Should we investigate? Oh, those again. Let's keep riding. I don't want to waste. I don't want to waste my dragon.
And it's just at that point you hear a howl.
Fine.
And it
Oof.
echoes off.
A woo?
Yes.
And
woo?
Go on. Yeah, I'm with Galen. Where we're going to gallop at full speed
you're
away.
galloping at full speed. Can I get you gentlemen to give me ride rolls?
What
Oh,
the
boy.
hell is a ride roll?
There should
It's
be a
probably
ride.
under your mediocre.
Yes.
Oh, damn. I didn't realize there was a ride roll.
I changed it from drive.
I don't have this skill.
Yeah.
And I suck at it.
Okay, and it is. Let's see.
Did I waste a faint point?
Holy crap!
Oh, never mind. It won't matter.
Yes.
It's you're riding as fast. You're riding as fast as you can.
I feel like we're being helped from a distance, but I don't think it's going to matter.
Trees whipping by you. You glance over your shoulder. You see shapes rushing up. You hear howls in front, from behind, and from the other side. Your horse rears suddenly and pulls up. In front of you is a wolf. And you find yourselves slowly but surely surrounded by six
I'll be slowly. You can be surely.
There's no way out of this. We must fight. Prepare yourselves. Go on my signal.
What's your signal?
I'm waiting for John to describe.
How we're gonna die? Okay.
It's as you are watching around, you hear a whistling coming from the trees. Thank you. And stepping out between the trees with a crossbow held in his hands is a figure that you recognise, Roscoe.
Motherfucker.
The hunter. And he goes,
Great. Just what we needed.
he goes, gentlemen, Roscoe, it's a pleasure to see you again.
It's good to see you too. So I could kill you for once and for all.
Who is this guy, Roscoe?
Let's just
Does
say,
he need both his eyes?
let's just say I'm an old acquaintance. You kind of interrupted a conversation that me and Roscoe was having.
I didn't do it. It was the other guy.
I'm
Be
pretty
quiet,
sure
Galen.
it was you, Mr. Galen. I heard you've got a vocal talent in mimicry.
No, it was the other guy.
Mm.
That was Darien. Oh, right. He wasn't there. Oh, maybe he was. No, he must have been there. Right. Because it was him. Yeah, it must have been.
And he just goes, It's a bit of a rush that you two are in. You could throw a hoof or the horse could tumble in this light.
The sun came up 30 minutes ago. It's plenty bright enough.
It's still a bit of a risk. Unless you're there to see what happened to the Templars.
What do you know about
What
anything?
happened to the Templars?
The Templars stood up against us and they lost.
Seems unlikely.
Unlikely.
Well, there were a lot of them, were there not? And you've only got wolves?
Oh.
You versus 100 of the best Templars? I do not think so.
The cult of the Burned Claw is stronger than you gentlemen can think. I think I'll let my pets play with you, Roscoe. I can retrieve the item from you at my leisure. And with that, he
I'm
just
going to-
steps. Well, yep.
I'm going to try something.
Okay.
I'm going to try to imitate the command that he used on his wolves
The whistle.
Okay.
to basically like, hey, wolves, go away kind of thing.
Do the...
Yeah. What? That way.
Which I think would be a...
Okay. Deceit on a 4. Let's see.
So, well, I could use a fate point to make it a 4.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like a plan.
What aspect would you be using?
Well, I am going to be the other guy.
Fair enough. Fair. Where's the other guy? And drop a fate point for that.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good. Where's the other guy? It's at that point the wolves.
And I'll use that to jump off the horse. Well, let's see what happens. Yeah. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, and he's like, what? And he tries to do another command there, but the scene that kind of develops is basically Galen is just countering the commands there, and the wolves go look, and you can see the confusion in the hounds' faces.
Roscoe.
And that's the opportunity that Roscoe uses to jump off. And let's attack this. Let's attack. I'm going to jump down and attack the biggest wolf here in front of us.
Don't go after the wolf. Get him.
Is he within my strike distance?
He would be, I'd say, a zone away. So you could move the zone and still attack him there.
Let's try that because I hate this guy, and I've been scoping him the entire time.
Okay.
Yeah, jump off and off of the horse, and pull out the blades in one swoop. Go run at him, and I'll use my movement zone. And do I use just one fight?
Depends on how you're wanting to do it. There, you can make it a fight. You could try and tackle him. There, that could be a physique roll.
Oh, can I use my sabotage on him?
How does that stunt work again? How's it
written
up?
Yeah. It just creates an advantage. That's about it.
Yeah.
No, let's not do that. Let's just do a straight. Let's tackle this guy. I like that.
You keep him busy. I'll get the wolves out of here.
Okay. So yeah, you just run up there, and you try to do. Yeah. Let's make a physique roll just to try and tackle him as hard as you can. He's going to try
bump into him to knock the wind out of him or something of that sort.
Yeah. And he's going to do an athletics roll there.
Keep each other busy.
Okay.
You should not have come back chasing me. It is you who is seeking death.
Yeah. So you run up. He's busy trying to get the wolves back under control when you run up and you just shove him up against a tree. His crossbow goes scattering off into the underbush there. At the moment, it's just you kind of got him against the tree with no kind of consequences or so it's face
to face.
Okay.
That's why I said talk some shit to him, and that's all I had to do.
You could also potentially spend a fate point to do a roll or do a +2 to actually do some hits in, if you want.
Really?
Yeah, you could. It's up to you.
I spend a fate point to.
You would have to apply applicable aspect, but you do have the warrior from his.
Yes. Okay. So that's how that works. Yeah. Let's do that. I will use I will take that suggestion. I will use a hit point, a fate point, to do the warrior from his, and it is you who is seeking death, and I'll try to hit them from underneath with a fight attack.
So you're just adding the +2 to the attack there.
Okay.
Are you well, as I said, are you adding the +2, or you could do the reroll, but it could then mean you roll worse.
+2 you win, so that's a good thing.
Oh, you're talking about for the physique?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought you meant like I get to punch him as well.
But that's,
No.
I'm willing to give you that because I'm taking it as an attack.
Yeah,
There.
yeah. I'll take the +2.
Okay. I'm treating it as an attack. You get
Yes.
tackled as attack.
I understand.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't
That's
quite
why it
understand.
has-
I thought
they both have tack
I had
in
to
the
use
name.
fight for that. My bad.
No, that's fine. You don't always have to use fight there. Okay.
Good.
It is that. So that was your turn. Okay.
Yes. Oh,
So who's going next?
Galen is definitely going next.
Okay.
I'm going to convince or try to convince the wolves that this would be a good time to go home. If I have to lead them off myself or just get them away from the hunter,
All right.
in either case, try to get them away from him.
Okay. Can I get you to do another DC if it's going to be a difficulty 4 game?
That's not good. Well, as long as I break even. Minus freaking 1. Close doesn't count, huh? All I had to do was roll even. Oh well, who needs fate points, right?
Exactly.
That's what they're there for.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I didn't have an extra one this time.
So
Still that other guy. Come on, follow me.
Fair enough. Okay, +5. You see the wolves slowly kind of stalking, their ears picking up, looking at you expectantly.
Do I have any dog treats in one of my many, many pockets?
You
I
just
might
hear
have some
the
food.
you just hear the low kind of growl just get louder and louder as time as you let
Take
time
them for a
pass.
chase.
Come on, let's go. Let's go.
So that's
And-
what you're doing.
Yes.
Okay.
I see you gallop away, and there's like 6 of them just.
I
Mhm.
Chasing
I wasn't
after
on
you.
my horse, I don't think. I think I
Fine.
got tossed off my horse, didn't I?
No.
No.
Oh,
We
horses-
just stopped. Our horse is reared up. What reared up
Oh,
just
okay.
means pause, like hit the brakes dramatically.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
You weren't dumped.
I wasn't a dump. I thought with my terrible unride, I would have been falling off my ass. Or my
The
horse.
ride was to see if you could escape from them. That's what it was about.
Ah, okay.
I was
I'd like to
mean-
use 8 fate points to get better than him.
No, they're just good at hunting. That's their
Mm.
job. So no.
Find lunch.
Patrons.
Find lunch.
Yeah. You hear the howls and the barking of the hounds as they chase you. Now, which way are you riding? Are you riding back from whence you came, or are you riding to where you're going?
I'm gonna ride to.
Or are you going to ride into the trees?
Well, no, that would hurt because then.
Well,
Get one.
not into the
Ah.
trees, but like
Ah,
through them,
oh, okay.
you know, into the woods. That's what I mean.
I will head diagonally between into the trees and where we were going.
Okay. Okay.
So not staying on the path, but kind of like meandering through it.
Okay. All right. We'll come back to you in a moment there.
Let's split into 3 groups now.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Why not?
Good thing this is not my Star Trek game because they've been split into 6 groups by now.
Hearts full, everyone dies. Oh,
My
sorry.
left
Fountain
arm goes
torpedoes
this way,
drop.
my right arm goes that way.
Yeah. So I think at this point, it will be back to the hunter there. Because Roscoe's went, Galen's went. It's my guys.
I'll pass it to Darien. No,
Okay. So
Pass it to Darien indeed.
then, okay. So the hunter will try and wrangle out of his grapple with yourself, the Roscoe.
Okay.
So I'm going to argue on his side it's going to be a physique roll. He's doing. Okay.
Uh-oh.
I have the high ground.
Ooh. So you tries to get his arm behind the back of your neck there, but your hand just grabs it, and you can see the slight wince there as you clamp down and wrench it to the side. He then tries to give you a cheeky kick between the legs.
I'm already waiting for it.
Yeah, you twist
Put
your
my knee up.
You twisted the hip and you take the knee to the hip instead. And you're just, both of you are just kind of strong man in it, just growling at each other's faces. There.
Yes.
Yeah. Galen, you are being chased.
No, they're coming with me.
They're coming with you. Well, I think they're expecting you to give them food, which you don't have. So they might turn you into food.
Well, I have food. It's probably just not what they're used to.
Yeah. So what's going to happen?
Well, it depends how far I get away.
Well,
Because I can always scare the shit out of these things, because unless they speak English, they don't know that it was a fake dragon.
Well, what is gonna be is I'm gonna actually want to see how far ahead you can potentially get of these
Okay.
first. Okay, I'm going to give you that you potentially might have a head start of at least a zone. Okay, and they're then
That's fair.
following you. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
if you win this conflict, you gain on a zone. If you lose, they start to catch up with you, and that's when they can start to attack. Okay? On the next turn.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Okay? I think that'll be the way I would want to do it. Okay?
And I guess I can't be stealthy. I'm going to have to keep riding, aren't I?
Not really. Well, you can jump off and then try and stealth. The way I look at it is if you win a contest, you'll gain a zone away, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you get, let's call it 3 zones away, you somehow give them the slip.
Okay, this isn't likely, but sure. Especially
good.
Especially if they have +4 to their hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's why I'm giving it 3 zones. I'm not going to try and have you shoot for 5 or 10. I'm not that nasty. There.
I don't think I'm even going to get 1, but that's okay.
You've already on 1, sir. But
Well, another
1 for now. Okay. So, yes, it's going to be actually not their pack hunting. It's going to be their actual athletics for keeping up, because it's just a straight chase.
If they do catch up to me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try to set off some fireworks in their path.
That will be them. We'll cover that when we come to your neck. As I said, I'm not
when
gonna
they
have
catch up to me.
No. That will be covered in the next
Okay.
turn. Okay.
All right.
The Dark Hands. Okay.
Why don't you use that for separation then? We'll see. I'll be quiet.
Yeah. Well, that was the whole point, but yes. To at least gain back the zone I'm about to lose.
Mm-hmm.
So let me guess, I get to ride again?
Yep, it's alright for yourself.
Can I put a +6 in there by mistake? No. Ooh, I got above 0.
And let's see. So you get so in a way.
Miracles happen.
So they're still behind you. But it looks like your horse has gained additional motivation
Yes.
in keeping ahead of these things as they're chasing you. The howls, but you hear that they're getting further and further away from yourself. Okay. Right, because it's my turn. Actually, Darien.
Ah ha ha.
How will you handle it?
Mm-hmm. Darien, you and Sir Thormas have been looking around. And what you found, Darien, is with that time, there's been 2 sets of tracks. There's the set of a very small, what would it be, a very small pack going north back to whence you came from, right? But there's a much bigger group that's continued southwest. There.
So some tracks leading towards Burn, and the rest.
That's it, but yeah.
Rest went the other way.
Yeah. So, from what you're seeing, some of the tracks going the other way would suggest, initially some amount of dragon there.
Dragon?
Dragging.
Oh.
So it looks like some potentially, you've seen these things before, where, when, with prisoners being dragged, by guards and their feet are just trailing on the ground. It's a bit reminiscent of that there, and there's a few specks of blood that you're seeing there. But as you're kind of looking around, you do hear the sounds of barking to the north.
North. Barking.
Mm-hmm.
So there's someone else on the road. Oh shit. Alright. They're coming after me. Sir Thomas, I need to attend to the road. I will return briefly with a master tracker. We shall find out which of these tracks to follow. And with that, he runs over to his horse, jumps over it, and begins to ride northwards towards the barking sounds.
Smart.
It's as you're riding off.
Oh, jumping over your horse doesn't really seem like a good plan.
Yeah.
I thought I said, no, well.
Jumping on to the horse.
Yeah,
That makes much more sense.
Yeah. As you're riding off, the camera just stays on Sir Thormas for a moment. And he just goes, I will deal with him when I have to. And then we'll go back to Darien. Who are we going on to? Because it's your...
Well, I give my turn to the warrior of his.
Roscoe. The goats should leave me alone. You will not survive this fight with me up close. I'm gonna start trying to finish him. I want to actually fight him.
Okay. Yeah. So you're gonna. So let's do fight rolls for both for his defense in year 1. There. I'd say in that case. Because that would just be one of these situations where we'll see what he rolls for his defense.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so you get another few. He puts up a few blocks. He tries to punch you, but you block him, and then slide your own punch inside, and all that. There, it's like the occasional, like tries to sweep.
I'm bashing. I even take it. The tree's still there. I'm conveniently bashing him into it.
It's a Jason Bourne fight here. We're doing.
Yes.
So you're not treating him well.
Yeah. Yeah. So he takes a few more. So he's defending himself quite well. He's taken a few blows, but you've put them on the back foot. He's literally having to block a lot more. So
I'm advancing in his direction, and I'm. Yes.
It's like what you're really doing is like most of his attacks that are he thinks he's got a window, but no, that's you and he's just having to purely react, and you're just advancing. There's the occasional stumble, or he goes into you give him a shove, he goes back into a tree, but he rolls off it. There.
Last time I saw you, you've disappeared. I will not let you leave. I do not want to see you again. I will cut to. Yeah, let's get his turn. Let's go Hunter's turn now.
Hunters and the NPCs. Okay, the hunter just goes, Roscoe, let's be honest, I've dealt with more dangerous prey than you. And with that, he pulls a knife out from the cape, and he just goes, I'll cut you up, boy. Let's dance.
I'll defensive stance it. He rolls and I roll the same thing, fight to fight.
You could do athletics or physique. There, if you're just like jumping out of the way.
I got you.
You don't
I
have
understood.
to do fight. Think about if you can put an argument on how that skill aids in your defense. Give me the idea.
Gotcha.
If I agree with it, I'm happy. Well, he's going to try and fight you. He's trying to use his knowledge of weaponry. There. Okay.
I'm gonna use my knowledge of close combat with my fists to block it. Block his entire arm. So that's
just more like a potential fight roll then. Okay. So there is his. So he rolls a fair.
Oof. Block.
And it's like.
Roscoe's
so he's
not
just
being very nice to him.
I even put his arm between my two hands, so now it's locked in place.
You just see he thrusts the knife at your face, but you're kind of just teasing him. You're like, woof, woof. And in this desperation, he tries to lunge, and he overreaches himself, and that's when you actually just give him that tap on the wrist.
Yes.
There. And he drops the knife, and it goes scuttling away out of his hand. And he brings it back, and he's like, ah.
You're too emotional. You must remain cool if you are to fight me. Your passion is your weakness.
I will still gut you like the animal you are, Hussein. At which point we'll come back to the the wolves hunting Galen. There. So they're trying to catch up with you, Galen, sir. Let's see if you get that. You could jump off the horse and try something else. You could try to do a deceive if you want.
What I'm going to try to do is I am going to toss the fireworks behind me just as a distraction,
Okay.
and then head off an angle more towards straight out.
All right. Okay.
Back to the road?
Yes.
Okay. Let's do that on a deceive. There.
Here we fail again.
Mm-hmm.
No, maybe not.
Damn.
Horrifying! I've never seen that one before.
Because I rolled a neg 4.
Yes, I noticed.
Wow.
I think that
Fireworks set them all on fire and they all
I
died. There we go.
disagree with that. I think for once the GM's going to spend one of his fate points
To re-roll.
to do a reroll because a +2 is going to do jack shit.
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So I'm going to apply my monstrous Burnland Hounds aspect there and do that reroll. And oh, that was funny. You still win, right? And I would say with that, you get to that third zone there, and you pull away, sir. Okay.
Pull away nicely.
Those hounds had no chance. Didn't have a snowball's chance in hell.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if they rolled a full 4, they couldn't have touched you.
Yeah. It was just my pride.
But it was too embarrassing to be at -4.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Exactly. My pride dictated that I had to do better. They did.
they didn't want me to set them all on fire with fireworks. Okay.
I'm literally imagining Galen just being like super scared. He's just like fireworks in the background.
Yeah. You just hear the hounds. You start just chucking. I don't know how many you chuck. There's just a cacophony of sound and light going off. And you just hear...
How much fireworks could a Galen chuck if a Galen could chuck fireworks?
chuck.
Yes, Galen, Darien better hear the fireworks, right? Froggy.
Yeah.
So basically, I went more south and they just kept going more west than south.
I would say...
I'm guessing.
I say it's not just that. I think a few of them kind of like feared off and they continued, but a lot of them kind of like got more scared off.
You flashbang them. They're disoriented.
Oh, yeah.
And then they ran in different directions.
Yeah,
And a few of them
so-
ran away scared.
They also got like that, that sulfur smell right in their nose and saltpeter. So you've kind of
I
confused
guess I'm
them
not going to
from...
whistle to call them back. No. Not
Just restart the process again. I'm happy to do that if you want.
And their ears too. Like now their ears are oversensitive, so they don't hear the.
Yeah. So I'm willing to give you for that. If you need a situational aspect to use against the hounds of dazed and confused. Okay?
Ooh.
That you
cool.
can...
Not sure what that means, but all right. Cool.
Basically, if you find yourself in a situation there with the hounds, you can apply it for free for a +2 or even a reroll. Okay? If you want.
Okay.
You only get one free invoke of it. There.
Yeah.
Okay? Because I actually like it, So I'm actually giving you
So I can
free...
screw the hounds and scare the shit out of somebody. Okay, good.
Okay. Okay. So with that happening, we had Roscoe, then...
It's Darien, because he's the only one left.
The hounds. Actually,
No,
you were
Galen,
next.
Galen hasn't
Oh.
went yet. It was only me going and you reacting to it.
Oh.
Like you...
Okay.
Yeah, so Galen, what are you then doing as you escape from the hounds?
I'm guessing I don't see Darien, since I have no idea how close we were to him anyway. So I'm gonna have to circle back to try and help Roscoe.
Okay. So you
That's the only thing I know about. So
and it's like, can I
And I'll try
get a
and-
notice roll from you?
That is good.
the water has melted. It is not ice.
What you see in the actual distance further south is you do see a figure on horseback.
And the wolves didn't go that way. That's good. Does it look like Galen? Sorry, that's me. It does not look like Galen.
No.
Does it look? Well, it was the other guy. Does it look like Darien?
You're too far away to actually make that sort of detail out, but it's your notice allowed you to pick up the glint of sunlight off metal. There. That's what caught your eye.
Yeah.
So
These
the
guys who wear too much
individual would
armor.
appear to be armored.
I'm gonna stick with my original plan. If
Okay.
they can see me, they can see me, but I'm gonna head back to try and help Roscoe.
Okay. No, that's fine. So you make your way back. Okay. So that's
And if
that.
I can, I'll try and like sneak back to
Okay.
Help him.
Okay.
But that will be when I get closer because I've obviously
Yeah,
gone
sure.
a couple of zones away.
Okay.
Okay, who's next?
That's who's next, Galen?
Well, my choices are Darien or Darien because everybody else is gone.
Hold on. So Darren went. He picked me. He picked Roscoe. Roscoe then picked me. I picked you. No, that's just done the round.
Oh.
There. You can
Well,
pick whoever.
In which case, I don't know Darien's there,
Right.
so I'll pick Roscoe.
Well, fair
Oh.
enough.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Roscoe.
You are a good fighter. I will give it you one chance now, here and now. You will not leave to get the necklace. You will not. You will leave me alone from this point forward, or you will die here.
Excuse me.
And with it, I'm gonna while I'm making those I want to convince him to leave. Can I use empathy against him?
Or you could do empathy is for potentially getting
No,
a
no.
read on someone, provoking them.
Uh-huh.
Would be a kind
Gotcha.
of social attack.
Provoke? Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there no intimidate?
Provoke intimidation would come
Provoke.
under
It's
provoke.
the same thing.
Okay.
I'm literally trying to get a reaction from him.
Yeah. That provoke. That's what provoke's about. Okay.
No amateur vokes for you. That's a provoke.
Mm-hmm. And I'd say it's his will just to try and not react to that. There. You just see him go some. You just see that flash of anger in the eyes. There. And he's just going, you can't scare me from my path. But his eyes are darting backwards. There.
Does he choose to attack?
I don't know. It's not his turn.
Well, it's your turn, so
Who's
don't
going
know yet.
next?
Yeah. Well, I chose my turn for that. I chose him
Okay.
to do his reaction.
Okay.
However he wants to react.
Just
It is a game, James. It is Hunter's turn.
Okay. He looks and he's like, cannot let you leave with that necklace. Over my dead body it will be, Roscoe. And he will come. He's going to try and charge you, and he's going to try and tackle you with a physique.
Exactly what I was waiting for.
Okay.
I would like to use my high concept as a fight finishing move, and use my fight against him to actually use his momentum against me. He's making another severe attack. He's Aikido.
Right. Okay. Let's just see what happens there. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see if he.
I wanted to goad him into an attack to piss him off even more, and he seems to have catching for the bait. Oh, holy shit!
Yeah. So it's just as he's saying that. It's like, let's see what your roll is. Damn.
Yeah, I did not expect a fantastic.
Yeah. It's his reaction. When he darted forward, he was faster than you were expecting them to be. And he nearly got you. But at that point, you kind of twisted out of the way and you got his arm in a lock. And you send him flying, and then with a shove onto his shoulder, you send him flying face forwards into the ground.
Nice. Or into a
I was
tree.
hoping it was going to be a tree.
Yeah, how about a tree?
He collides with a tree and then rolls off into the ground. Then.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Right. So Galen passed to Roscoe. Roscoe passed to me.
Hunter passes to whoever now.
Yep. Darien. Then.
That was a fucking gamble.
But it worked.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do we see?
Yes, you're hearing hounds there, and they're getting louder. You then hear a massive crack and bang of explosives.
Well, they're fireworks, they're not explosive.
Mm-hmm. Well, fireworks are explosives. They're just purpose for entertainment.
They're tiny ones.
You say tomato, I say a firecracker.
Yeah. Yeah, so you hear that going off. You then see a figure riding out of the woods onto the path, stop for a moment, and they then turn and then start riding back up the trail.
Away from you.
Away from you, yes.
Do you recognize the fireworks from the fight in Bay?
You probably don't use the same bomb in this fight. But also, I didn't see you fight in Bear.
Yes, you did. Before you left.
No, I left before the fighting began.
No, you left. Left
during. Yeah, I did fight. Never mind.
Yeah.
We chased after the dude after the fight. He went this way, we went that way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, slowing down, prepping my crossbow, riding closer, looking for opportune targets. Well, apparently there is no.
I just know it.
Don't give him ideas.
He'll get his point across.
So that one is riding away from me.
Yeah.
So, follow that one.
Okay.
See, it's daylight now.
Yeah.
So I can see the many colors of the cape.
Yeah. Can I get both of you gentlemen to give me a ride roll.
Right.
Hi-oh, Silver!
Ride, Sally, ride. Oh boy.
I don't
Damn.
think either of us has ride, do we? Nope, neither of us have ride.
I have, yeah, 0.
So Galen, well, Darien tries to catch up with probably what he, based on the color of that multicolored cloak, is Galen. There,
It's only one color at a time.
it's shifting though, and but it seems like either he's got one very enthusiastic horse, or he's a better rider than you ever given him credit for, as he keeps ahead of you.
Or my horse is still scared of the wolves.
As he's saying that, as you're kind of galloping after, there is a wee snort from your horse there, Darien. And
He's tired.
but you more attribute it to the fact of as your horse snorts, there is a howl, but it is off in the distance.
It's getting further away, I assume.
It's more of a whistle than a howl.
Sorry, need to do that in the chat there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep.
is it visible to them?
No, it's the initial howl that you heard is from behind you.
There you
Darien.
go.
But there is sounds of barking. Just kind of off into the woods to your left. But when you look, you can't see anything. There, whatever is too far back into the trees for it to be spotted from the road.
I think I will deviate to move towards the side to see what is going on there.
Okay.
The rider is being faster than I can't seemingly catch it either way, so I might as well see to the side.
Okay.
You can have the wolves.
Okay. So where are you going? So as you come through the trees, you find a pack, well, a small group, not a full pack, but 3 wolves, shaking their heads, growling, snapping at each other. You can smell the acidic and sulfuric smell of explosives having gone off. And when you look at these hounds, you can see it would appear that these creatures have got the brunt of the explosives, as you can smell burning fur.
And to put away the gun, draw the blade, and ride in.
Right. Okay.
I better finish these while they're still distracted, so I might actually get close enough to charge in and slay a couple before they flee.
Okay. So you ride in.
Yep. Fight roll, I assume.
Yeah, a fight roll.
And these are corrupted, so I get a +2. So, zip. Dun, 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 dun.
It's Super B.
Okay, there.
But there is no owl next to it.
Ooh. So the sound of your horse charging perks seems to just attract the attention just in time for them to jump out of the way of your charging steed. But as that's happening, You swing the sword out and you score a very long but shallow cut along the side of one of them. And your steed turns. You can hear your steed is a wee bit nervous as it hooves at the ground and snorts there, but the steed is trained not to.
The hound's next.
The hound's next, okay. So the hounds will try to attack there and jump. They're kind of darting in and out like a pack would, seeking an opening for yourself. How are you defending, sir?
Well, I'm presenting them as much blade as I can.
So fight then.
So just I basically I know how these creatures attack, so I can anticipate, have my blade where they are coming and so forth.
Okay.
He's getting +2 against you too, so I don't think that balances out.
So, unless you're wanting to spend a fate point, sir.
I am winning at the moment.
No, you're not. 4-3.
Oh,
4 versus 3.
Oh, you're
nope,
right. You
sorry,
are.
I've read it the wrong way around. Sorry.
So did I. I read the exact same thing.
Thank you. Sorry, sir.
I read the
Okay,
same thing.
I need to go back to Specsavers, it turns out. Yep.
Get laser.
No, it wasn't you. I swear the numbers just switched themselves.
I thought so.
It was the other guy.
It was the other guy.
Yeah.
It was the other dog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, we're doing this. Oops.
Okay. So, despite their attempts, you enthusiastically keep them away with very pointed use of your longsword. There.
You got your point across.
Yeah.
The sword is a long one. It's specifically designed for cavalry battles.
Yeah. Okay.
And wolves are very small horses.
All right. I think in that case it will be then that was my hounds going. That will be them, the hunter. Picking up yeah.
You missed me.
Huh?
I gave it to Roscoe. Roscoe gave it to the hunter.
Yeah, that's why
That's
why I've been thrown off, because I split the NPCs up. I should have done them at the same time. That's why. Yep, no, that's my bad. I'll make sure the next time I do them together. Yeah, Galen.
So heading back to Roscoe.
Okay. Let's just have the time it's taken. You see Roscoe and this gentleman that accosted you circling each other.
Did
They're throwing
Roscoe just throw him on the ground?
Time has elapsed. This is what you're walking in on.
Yeah.
Oh, so he got back
Assume
up again.
other stuff have happened. We don't have
Yeah.
to go over the
Okay.
couple things of him find me in the middle. Anyways,
No,
It's been cutting to and fro here. I'm coming to the more
Okay.
pertinent
Okay.
moments. Yeah. So you see the hunter run up and he tries to throw a series of punches, but Roscoe just fends off and then launches his own counterattack, eventually leading to him doing a roundhouse kick that if it wasn't for the hunter's quick reactions would have laid him out, but at the same time he's stumbling around trying to keep his footing on the ground.
Damn, I can do two different things here.
Mm-hmm.
One, my first ever actual attack, or try to give Roscoe an advantage. Let's why depart from my usual? Well, if he's trying to gather his footings, let's ruin his footing again. Good old marvelous ideas come to mind.
So what you did exactly, sir?
I'm trying to hinder his footings with small round balls.
You throw a bag of marbles in his general direction,
Basically,
have them
Yeah.
scatter.
Okay.
Yes.
A shoot, I would say, sir.
It was either that or throw a knife at him.
Yeah. I'd say difficulty.
And do I have like surprise because he's not expecting me? He's figuring I'm wolf food by now.
No, I would say though, difficulty for this is going to be 2, because he's actually focused more on Roscoe.
Yeah, that didn't work. Even with a fate point, that didn't work.
Yeah,
The bag dropped, but it didn't burst open.
Yeah.
No, I accidentally threw sand instead of marbles.
It was the wrong pocket.
Wrong pocket, damn it.
Wrong pocket.
Wrong pouch.
I moved poorly. I've chosen poorly.
Yeah. Okay, who's going next? Then Galen.
Well, since we're starting over again, I'm going to try again.
Okay. You got that spare pouch.
Yeah, I got the right pouch this time.
Yeah. It's not like you picked the wrong pouch. It was just that it's that adrenaline rush. It was just right next to each
Oh, I
other.
did even worse. Oh, damn, I just threw an unlit firecracker at him. What?
It's like you throw the pouch, but it's just you've never had to throw these in the woods before. And it's just what's happened is as you're throwing it, the
God,
pouch
that's
just
terrible.
sails, and it's the string for the pouch just get caught in a branch. There.
All right. I'll pass it on to Roscoe. He's just watching me throw these. What the hell are you doing?
I'm not even paying attention. I mean, right now the world
Yeah.
is me and Hunter,
Yeah.
and I've got him on the ropes, and he's making mistake after mistake.
Yeah.
And this is my turn to put the advantage forward, and I'm just gonna go. You had your shot.
I'm glad I didn't throw
Without
a
any
dagger. I
more
probably
words,
would have
I'm
ate
just
you.
gonna go in and just punch, and try to take him finally out.
Okay.
One more fight.
Let's see what he goes.
And I'm beat up,
Okay.
lips bleeding.
Okay. You can do. If you were to spend a fate point, you could add the +2 to more damage. You're on a difference of 3.
Yes, let's do that. Let's use a fate point to do that indeed.
Okay.
I'm down to 1 fate point left.
All right. Okay. It's at this point his actual attempts there to actually block you finally fail, and you get a very good solid punch, and you just hear that sickening crunch of his nose as your fist goes back into it. There. You broke my nose again. You bastard. So he has got.
Oh, it's his turn.
So
Afterwards.
he's got broken nose. So the next turn you can invoke that for free for a +2.
Okay, I can do that.
He's gonna rush.
Is it his turn next?
Yeah.
Yes.
Roscoe. He's gonna rush him, and he is just no. Actually, he's gonna turn.
Do it. You can escape?
Nah, that's something else. Let me see.
He's going to go after me.
No.
Ooh-ha-ha-ha.
Let's see what his notice roll is. Damn it.
Oh, this is interesting. I can't wait to find out what happens here.
Just see, he's looking.
He didn't even notice me trying to.
No, it's not that. He's looking around there, and he's like, and you just see his hand going to, just off to his side on his left hip is a quiver, and you can see the feather of bolts, and you just see, but of course, his crossbow went into the undergrowth early in the fight. And you can just see him kind of backing up, and his eyes are darting all over the place. And that's his turn. He's trying to back himself up as he's trying to look for it, but he can't find it at the what he's looking for at the moment.
Okay.
Wolvies.
So Galen went, Roscoe went.
It's the Wolvies.
Wolvies,
thank
you. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, so Wolvies are going to try and attack Darien.
Good call.
Fair. What's your defense, sir?
The same tactic as last time.
Yeah. And it's your turn, sir.
Well, since they do seem to be so well aligned with the blade, let the blade do the job.
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, yeah, of course it's now.
They can't hit you. You can't hit them.
I could still fluff this roll. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm winning by a margin, but I'm winning.
Yeah, and the margin is what as
you're doing margarine butter.
Yeah. Darien is holding off the hounds for a moment, and then it's just one of the hounds just jumps up to reach for his throat, at which point the hound just lands onto the tip of the blade and slides down on it, and you just hear the other
And
two
then tossing the blade down quickly so the gravity will take it off of the blade and I can use it again.
The other two you see the other two hounds start to hesitate. There.
Oh, I'm pressing on. I'm the last one to act, right?
Well, I attacked you, then attacked, so it's on to.
Yeah,
Well, you're the last
did
to attack. Yeah, so you.
Yes, you get to pick.
I choose me.
Okay. Yep.
Because I can now press the advantage and hack and slash these poor sods to death, hopefully. Let me see if I touch this roll again. Yeah, so you see that?
Yeah.
That's a -3, so I am going to reroll.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm using these adherent of the 7 heavenly virtues, as I am diligent in my pursuit of the corruption.
Yeah.
So
what you're seeing is the hounds, but the way I'll describe it is as you're advancing on one of them, that one's backing up, while the other one's trying to nip at the flanks of your steed. Okay.
Yep.
Forcing you to
roll well.
Yeah.
Just enough not to die.
Okay. Right. Who goes next?
Next.
Darien gets
if you've got, do you have a spare fate point, and do you have any other aspect? Because you could potentially add a +2.
I can add more than one per round?
Yeah. You would just have to use a different aspect, though, if it applies.
Yeah, stunts don't apply, only aspects.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. No, none of my aspects
Okay,
really
that's fair
work
enough.
on this situation.
Okay.
So I am going to yield it to the NPCs.
Okay. I would say, just to continue this, it'll be the hounds will, at that point, you just see them snarling.
One less hound.
Yeah, there's a pair of them left, but this is when just with your horse starting to rear, okay, hoofs flying, and like one of them nearly getting its head caved in by said flying hooves. That's when the hounds back off, snarling, and then just suddenly turn and run.
You cowards, leave!
Okay. We'll then come to the fight
Hunter.
of Hunter and Roscoe. So Hunter is, let's see, does he notice what he's looking for? No, he doesn't. He is backing up, and you can, I would say you can easily, you're paying attention to him, Roscoe. What you can see is his left hand is on a bolt. Okay? He can't, you know what?
He's looking for the crossbow, can't find it. I mean, that's, and he seems to be panicking, trying to gain space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He gets, I could beat this. Okay. Absolutely.
You get to, who's next, Hunter?
I think will be Roscoe.
Get to go last again.
I'm gonna acknowledgement. I'm gonna look behind me and to the left and the right. I'm gonna use my turn to notice around and see if I find the crossbow. That's what I want to do.
Okay. You catch a glint of something metallic, maybe about 2 feet behind him to the left.
And with that, I gave my turn back to the NPCs.
Oh, the NPCs already went, so...
Oh, I can't give it to Galen then.
Yeah, it would have to be Galen anyway.
Yes. Because Darien's already gone too. Yes. Yeah. You're correct.
Well, is he backing up towards me?
I would say you're more like side on to this. And
Yeah.
you're seeing them like kind of... So you're kind of watching the side on and they're moving like this in front of you. Okay?
Okay. Well, at least if I do throw
Again,
it,
I have no clue that you're, even with my looking around, I still have no clue that you were there.
I don't think you could have missed me there, but okay.
I'm concentrating on him.
Well,
Uh,
maybe now, yeah. With that notice, I would notice, yeah.
I'm going
You
to...
might have caught something, but might not have processed it. There, that'll be...
I'm going to... I'm gonna, I guess, try and use...
Just
I don't
come
know.
up behind
What am
him
I
and
not terrible?
stab him. Come on.
Well, no, that would be a fight. I want more athletics. At least I'm +1. Or physique. Yeah.
Galen just comes behind the hunter and like goes into a crouch waiting for Roscoe just to charge him and knock him over.
Yeah, something like that, yes. So can I, basically, I'm going to do he's going to back over me and you're going to crush into him. At least that way Roscoe will notice.
Absolutely. Fine. I'm into this.
Yes. So I'm going to try to sneak behind him to set up to give Roscoe an advantage.
Okay. I would actually say this is going to be you doing a stealth against his notice.
Okay, well, he obviously is very good at noticing things. like the crossbow 2 feet away. Sure, I'll try a stealth.
Yep.
Why not?
Amazing.
This is gonna fail horribly, I'm sure. Oh, maybe not.
Maybe not. Exactly.
The gods of Twitch demand
no,
that this
you got
happen.
it. So, you've got an aspect of imposition.
And since I'm last, I'll give it to Roscoe.
Okay.
So
And
he
I'm
can take
guessing-
advantage of this.
And I'm guessing you're willing to give him the actual
Yes.
aid of imposition. Okay.
Yes.
I saw the crossbow camera, point of view crossbow, then point of view you sneaking up right in front behind them.
Yeah.
Acknowledgement in my face,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna move forward and just shove his ass and make this happen.
Okay.
Beat the
So,
crap
are
out
you
of
going to
this
be
guy.
doing the attack, or is it just you trying to? Just
I
get him
want.
onto the ground?
Let's do Yeah, it's. What would it be?
It's. Can
I
you
guess a
describe
shove
what-
is the best, right?
the
It's a
shove,
physique. I
right.
don't think a punch
So
or
you're
anything
more
like that.
you're more trying to get him sprawling onto the ground, so to get another.
Yeah.
And again, if you hit him in
advantage.
the nose again,
So
This is true. Super punch to the nose, making him back up, fall into the thing is
Okay.
going to be the most badass imagery I could ever possibly
Okay.
imagine.
right. So do it as a fight in that case.
With a +2?
actually, you can use your +4
Well, as
because
I
of
said,
because you already punched him in the nose.
Let our DM talk.
Okay.
Well, as I said, there's kind
Sorry.
of two ways you can do this, right? You can do the roll, right? See how you're rolling first, and then just add because as I said, these are aspects, okay?
Gotcha.
So you can either do them for +2 each, or use them for rerolls. If you
I
need
meant
them.
I meant because of the punching of the nose thing.
Yeah, so you got the broken nose, which you can then invoke because you've caused that that consequence for him. You get a free invoke on that
Okay.
to add there.
So right now when it says input value, can I put the +2 on there?
Yeah, you can put the +2 if you want to do that there.
And this will come on everybody.
And let's see. Holy shit. Right, hold on. That's an 8. Okay.
I think he's out cold or something, or screaming.
This is well, it's also big news, so we gotta
It
see what the
is. Yeah. With that. So with that, it's you punch that nose, okay? He stumbles back. Galen gets in, and he goes over Galen's foot. There. And he falls flat on the back. It's as he's doing that, you hear a sickening crunch there. And the body just lies still.
All right. Slowly approach him, and I see Galen there too. I give him a nod.
What it is the hunter, when he stumbled, he fell, and his head is collided with a massive rock, and that his skull's been caved in. That's what the crunch was. You just see the blood and the brain matter starting to leak out.
I step over them.
He was trying to get ahead in the world. He lost his.
The cream will not get the necklace. Go back to hell. Thank you for the assistance, Galen.
Anytime.
You did good work of the wolves. What became of them?
I led them off. Why am I talking like you? I led them on a merry chase and accidentally, intentionally set a couple of them on fire, and they ran away. And so I circled around back to assist you, and it seems like I got here just at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't see my other attempts to help you, which is a good thing because they were horrid.
It's at this point you probably hear the clatter of hooves on the ground as Sir Darien rides up.
Darien!
Coconuts. Sorry.
I'm going to search this hunter's body.
Go for it.
Being careful not to poke myself with his bolts, because they're probably poison.
You find on the hunter or the hound's master, depending what name you go by for him, another token amulet with the effigy of a claw on it, but of course the material is burnt there.
Burnt claw amulet.
Another burnt claw.
Though on the material there is a ruby on it. On that amulet there. The other thing that you'll find just give me a second. I'm just gonna I will do it that way. I will do it this way. It's Galen that was searching the body, wasn't it? We said.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
I'm waving down Darien.
I'm just going to quickly
Yes.
send you a DM, sir.
Are you all right?
On Discord.
You seem bloodied.
It is fine. Let me see what happens from here.
What am I looking for?
I'll be sending you in a moment
on Discord.
A message on Discord, mate. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I ran into some hounds. I assume they were chased off by you. I finished one of them off, but the rest of them managed to slip my blade.
Don't worry. His master is there dead.
The master?
The hunter, who calls them?
The Hound Master. Or he has three names now: the Hound Master, the Hunter, or the Corpse.
I know him as Visink.
Templar camp was assaulted. Only one survivor.
What? What he said was true then?
If that is what he said, then yes.
How can this be?
I do
The
not
burnt
know.
claw? They were 100 strong in your camp, from what I remember.
What troubles me the most is that they did leave only one man behind. Every corpse, every weapon, every armor was taken with. They left a man in his full armor behind.
Did he have something to do with the attack?
He claims not to, but I am not entirely convinced.
Who is this man? Do you know him?
I have served with him on a crusade, yes. But, well, I do not know him.
We came chasing after you, of course. We were waylaid by the hounds. But we are together.
We captured the person who was controlling the people fighting in the city, and
Yes.
Good work.
and turned him over to the authorities.
Good work.
I pull out like what the necklace Burn Claw.
Yeah, he had one like this.
We are dealing with a clan. They call themselves the Burnt Claw or the Creed. They were there here too. This is all part of the same thing.
Does Darien know about the burnt claw?
Yes. The Burned Claw, one of the stories that you have heard is that they are that the origins of the Burned Claw came about from the very first Crusades, and it was men who were corrupted by their experience, and they were thinking that might be another way of doing things.
So they are the
heresy.
first traitors.
It's classed as a heresy there in the Republic. But the thing that was quite tragic, as the story goes, is these men were the very men that actually the First Crusade was for them to fight against Underlun there, and they were victorious. But it seems then that the idea of the Burn Claw came about afterwards, after that crusade, and about the use of the artifacts of Underlun.
Oh. Burnt claw. This is again. It would not be the first time they would have inside men in the Republic. I worry. And so Thomas is one of them. People's skills are not my skills.
What do you say?
Either way, they took the eye with them. It must be found. There were 2 sets of tracks leaving the camp. But you do need rest. You've been riding all night. I have been riding all night. The safest place at this moment is the camp, either way. Whether or not we like it.
I agree.
You should take a breather, a short nap, see what we can do. Focus our minds. It's only it's only 15 minutes this way.
Very well. It's
Any,
good to see
any
you
further
again.
sign of the hounds?
No, they should have. They fled the woods with their leader no longer following them. I do believe they will not have the guts to face us again.
Does the hunter have any wolf food on him? In case we do encounter them, I can whistle to them and feed them this time. In case we encounter them again.
What you find, there's no food, but you do find a whistle.
All right.
I'm going to.
We should take that with us.
Yeah.
I'm going to walk over and retrieve the crossbow and some of the darts or bolts.
Yeah. The whistle, whoever uses it would use it like it's a stunt. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it would work is it would give you a +2 to any roll to potentially use an empathy roll with the hounds to see if you can control them.
Okay. Either of you guys have empathy as a skill?
Mediocre at best.
I have 1.
You have 1. Okay, you take the whistle.
An average.
Actually, I think you should take the whistle because you do such a good job of.
I don't need the whistle.
All right, this is true.
I can try without the whistle.
He's just going to deceive them and to follow them instead.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. All right, okay.
Are you going to tell them anything else, Gil?
Yes. He also had a letter with him, which I can put it in the stream chat if you want.
Or you could just
Want you to read it out loud.
All right, but this way. Oh, we must retrieve the shards of the Eye of Underland for the Master. I also I am tasking you, Hound Master, to find to find the Master. As always, he keeps himself away from us to test our faith. I am trusting you to find the Master, to show him the strength of our faith. And I'm seriously having something fucking up my eyes right now.
You okay?
Sorry.
Do you want to take a 5-minute break or 10-minute break?
Yeah, 5 or 10 minutes is good. I don't know what the hell I'm.
This is a good dramatic spot to do it too.
It's literally like I'm seeing the fireworks.
No, that's okay.
Okay.
Then 5
We'll
minutes.
be back in a few.
All right.
10 at most, folks.
Thank you.
Always.
Oh no.
Welcome back. So,
I've got a patch on now.
yeah.
Oh, come on.
Okay. This is all refreshed and back ready to do the remaining kind of
Your volume's a little bit
hour-ish
low.
of stream.
Yes.
No.
That'll be why.
Yeah, that would be why.
Sorry, welcome back to the stream where we will do the last hour of it for this episode. So,
Just for the sake of audience, Blinky, how are you feeling?
I am okay. Get it?
And
I
you're-
am okay.
if he's punning, he's fine. He's not needing medical attention. When he cannot pun, that's when we need to get a doctor to him.
I don't
Yeah,
have
but
a pulse if I can't pun.
Okay.
And that's why we had the Canadian hospital service on speed dial.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yes, 912.
Mhm.
If you
Yeah, but you need to add area code if you call from here. So.
We would have to be adding the area code for that. Okay. So I say, you gentlemen, we're going to jump a wee bit forward in time, about the 15 to 30 minutes there, where you're back in the camp. There you find Thormas.
Well, at least he's still there.
Yeah. And he's like, are these the trackers you're talking of, Darien?
Yes.
I'm Roscoe.
I'm Galen. And
This
sometimes
is,
I sound like
Thomas.
Roscoe.
Well met.
Yes.
Greetings. Should we
I
investigate?
will show you. I will show you where I found tracks, but you may really find them yourselves. Though all of us are in dire need of rest,
Yes.
as
We
it
will
has
relay
been
that.
long days and long fights.
Yes.
The tracks will not grow old in a few hours.
I have noticed something while you were away, Darien. And he just points. He says, "Look over there." And at the direction he's pointing in, what all of you will see is off in the distance, in the woods, is a small wisp of smoke rising up.
Is it in the direction the tracks were going?
He looks. I've not went as far to check, but it is on the potential way.
There is too small a fire for an army of 100. Army that would beat 100 men.
could be
And-
someone that might have saw such an army.
I have to ask the obvious question. Does it look like it's where I set off the fireworks and maybe started on
No,
fire?
opposite direction. It's opposite
Okay.
direction.
But
No,
it was a
I
fair
didn't make sure.
question.
It's a fair question. No, when you turn around, you see a massive forest conflagration instead. No, I'm joking. But as you look, thought in the other direction, though, towards where the city of Bith would be, you are seeing, more smoke rising.
Oh, is this your vision coming true, Darien?
No.
The city of Buh in flames?
Oh, yes. That is a sad vision. I'd be unable to stop it. Perhaps I was.
I'm gonna guess, and I'm not even gonna use my foresee stunt to say, well, eventually we'll end up in a tavern there, so, and the city won't have burnt down. So maybe it isn't.
Who says there's the taverns in the city?
Oh, good point.
So,
Just left the town.
I do have one question, Roscoe.
Ask.
There is a set of tracks leading towards the city of Bell. I want you to tell me, as the experienced tracker, are those the tracks of the hunter or tracks of someone else? This way.
Yeah. So, well, he brings you up. The tracks that he shows are, there's one pair of boots, and the rest of the tracks are of animals, which would appear to be some sort
Wolves?
of large canine. And the size would be about the size you would expect for those hounds.
Did we take the hunter's boots?
Canis,
We can match them.
this would be Canis lupus. The same wolves that we came across. These boots are a size 11. They're exactly the same size as the hunter we were just fighting. It is him, the hunter master. This confirms, and from what you have said, if he has the eye of Underland, this is his route that he took.
So the eye must be with the other group that left away from the city.
Yes,
Very well. It is a large group. But that fire, it is close enough. Well, I
Darien.
would like to have rest, and my horse would like to rest. I believe we should trek forward now while we still have a sight of the camp.
Darien, I trust you a bit more than most men. The hunter was also looking for this artifact. For the time being, I think we should keep this between you and I. And not tell anybody else, if you know what I mean.
Already
Right.
showed it to us.
My lips are sealed.
Okay. You lead. I will go where you need.
I appreciate it. Ah, Sir
It's-
Thomas,
He's coming. So Sir Fromus comes back out of the tents there, and you can see he's got a pack that he's just getting ready, and he's just cinching the straps. He goes, "Yes,
are you fit to travel?
see that? I'm dead, and I'm still on my feet."
Ah, we are going to find out at camp, see what is going on there. And if nothing new, we will use the fire to rest.
Okay.
Unless you wish to head for the sleep there. The trek is less than a day on foot.
Now, if they didn't go north with the artifact, then with that bigger group, my duty is to retrieve that artifact and bring it to the city.
Understood. And we'll walk. Let us not burden the forces more than they need to carry.
Of course.
And we trek forward towards the smokestack.
Making sure that the tracks that we're following are heading in the same direction.
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
Yeah, follow me. I will lead.
Can I get all of you gentlemen to give me another physique roll? There.
Physique. Ah, yeah.
Difficulty is 2 for all of you.
No. Here.
Okay.
How much was the difficulty?
2.
We averaged out.
So, Galen, when you look on your character sheet, there's a condition entitled exhausted. Can you tick that for me, please?
Oh, ouch. Okay.
This is the risk of these gentlemen running without getting rest and getting into fights. They can get exhausted. They can get tired. They
can get cranky.
Yes.
The character is exhausted unless action is taken to resolve the hunger. They're rolled.
Oh, sorry, that's a spelling mistake. It's basically when you get rest, that disappears. Okay.
Okay.
The general theme is there's hunger. There's dehydration.
I need rest.
Also.
Yeah. The weird thing is dehydration says the exact same thing.
Yeah,
it's almost like it was copy and pasted.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing how that works.
I thought I had corrected that there. Sorry.
It's all good.
Yeah.
At least Winded doesn't say hunger.
So good, man. Better go so.
Yeah. Okay. So as you go further and further, you move away from the camp. I'll disappear this one and we'll just move on to this map. There.
Changing maps. Oh no! How will we survive?
Okay. So
it's so tiny.
Yeah. I'm gonna zoom in, right?
Oh, yikes.
So the
the players can only see the highlighted area, but
yeah. The large square, that's where the city is, roughly. You are on the kind of south and you're about here. Okay. There is light forest.
Is that a lake or is
yeah, that is a lake. So
Lake Geneva, okay.
So just off on like the if you were to kinda go off on the right hand side, through the woods, you will find the lake. Okay? You know that just from your experience of being around this area.
Yeah.
At some points, looking for the trees, you would actually see the lake. You might see the shore of the lake. Eventually, the tracks move away from the road and start to head towards the fire or the smoke that you're seeing.
Well, approach the smoke then.
Mm-hmm. And you keep following the tracks there.
We are getting closer.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go stealthily as stealthily as Darien can go. once we get close.
And what your gentleman will find is slowly but surely you eventually come across a clearing in the woods, and you see a palisade erected in front of you.
Okay, is this a fresh-looking palisade?
Yes. You can. The actual clearing that you're seeing is actually, it is the exact word. It's a clearing in that the trees that the palisade was made of have actually been cleared, and you can actually see.
It didn't used to be a clearing then.
It didn't used to be a clearing.
Is this the Republic style of palisade?
No, it's not.
As we approach, do we notice movement, peoples?
What you're hearing is you're not seeing any movement, but you're hearing the sound of a chink. It's the sound of picks hitting stone. In the distance, you actually see. So you come across the clearing. There's the palisade, but past the palisade, you see a hill rising up. It would appear that the palisade covers a lot of ground and seems to go as far to the foot of this hill. And at the top of the hill, it seems to be quite a craggy crest, and there appears to be a cave there. But the reason why your attention's brought to us is you're actually seeing torches there that have been set up a path on the hill. And it's your eyes, as your eyes follow, your eyes are brought to it. But the actual sounds of the picks on the stone is a lot closer to yourself. What do you do?
Is there a guard tower with a guard in it?
That's the thing. There's no guards that you can see.
Is Starmus still with us?
Maybe they're keeping the people inside with this palisade, as opposed to, it could be like the prisoners from the Templars.
Yeah, but even then, there would be guarded towers.
Well,
Let
not
us
if they're on the
approach
inside.
stealthily and investigate.
Yeah.
Can I get you
This,
to
this,
do
this
it?
could be a problem for Darien, because this hill, it seems to be holy.
What'd you say, John?
Can I get you all to do a notice roll, please?
Meanwhile, I punt game.
Not investigate? Oh well.
It's more of a notice, this one.
Oh, and I'm going to get -1. Or...
It's difficulties.
No, I
for
get the
this.
-1.
Well, no, I got -1.
Oh,
I
Ross.
thought I was supposed to get a -1.
Yeah, but you got pluses from the dice.
While Darien and Galen are literally just going, no, you shut up, no, you shut up, sort of thing, as they kind of bicker. Roscoe, you've realised that the place is apart from the picks, okay, and the bickering from those two behind you, and the slight breathing from Thormas, the rest of the area is dead silent.
And you can hear.
Shh. You hear that?
No, it's silent.
That is not unnatural for this area.
Yeah, there's no chirping of birds, there's not...
You can't hear anything you're saying.
There's no chirping of birds. There's nothing
Yeah.
that you would associate with this place.
The birds of sounds, insects, nothing. The only thing is the clinking of stone.
Then
Come on, let
who's
us
doing
approach carefully. This is unnatural.
Roscoe, can you climb the wall and see over it?
Yes.
Or perhaps between the logs of the palisade?
Stay here. I will be back.
it? Okay, Arnold.
I'll be back.
Get to the chopper. Sorry.
Yeah.
Get to the chopper.
This is a great mystery. Let's find out more.
So you sneak up to the palisade, and you find a bit where, just where they've sunk the palisade, with the actual dip in the ground and all that, and the size of the log they use, it's not as high as it could be. Okay, and you're able to, in short order, pull yourself over and drop silently down to the ground. What you see is in front of you, though, is you find yourself facing a quarry. Okay? And down in the deep at the quarry, you see people working away there. And there is something that does catch your eye. It's down right at the bottom of the quarry, walking the perimeter at the bottom of this pit, are more of those hounds that you've come across before. There's also men whose attire is quite similar to the men that you came across in the city of Bur, the assassins. And what you see being dug out is something in the middle of the bottom of the pit is a glint of metal. But this is the largest bit of metal that you've ever seen. It's like an egg you're seeing.
Or dragon egg?
It's a metal egg.
But
It's massive in size.
But what you're seeing still seems to be, most of it still seems to be buried under the ground. But the bit that you do see coming out just makes you think. The shape there just makes you think of the top of the egg, as you just crack it open. But this is not an egg that, this is just a shudder in your soul, because this is one egg that you would not want to crack, you feel.
And it's like a dome size, like the size of a building dome. Who knows?
But at the moment, from the size of the... So you see the people walking around, right? Yeah, this thing is towering over them, and it's probably bigger than... You once went into the upper city in the Bay, where some of those buildings are like 15, 20 stories tall. People talk about how that's from the old magic there.
Yes.
Yeah, this thing, what you're seeing, is probably at least twice that high.
I must return back and warn the others. I slink back and catch up with Darien and Galen. The Burnt Claw are here. This is their encampment. They seem to be looking for something, and they have found it. A giant egg, a metal, a structure, something. But they are there. And there are many. But how many did I saw a lot of workers, a few guards.
Yeah, so it would appear from what you're seeing, a lot of it appears to be workers. From the way they were moving, your suspicion would be that they're shackled. There. The guards...
Were they the
Slaves.
prisoners? Did they look like the prisoners from the Templars? Possibly?
I do not know what they look like. It's too far away. We must get in closer, but I'm giving you a broad overview.
But from what you can see, the perimeter would be as the actual guards there on the section that you were able to see. There appear to be at least another, at least two groups of hounds walking around in groups of three. And at least then with the hounds was then another, at least
Does he
a
mention
group.
the hounds to us?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then
Okay.
there was...
I'm mentioning all this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And with the actual group of hounds that you saw was also at least a group of guards trailing the hounds there. They appear to be in groups of 6.
I have a suggestion.
2 groups of 6, kind of? Or is it 3 groups of 6?
It looked like there was like two kind of groups walking with the hounds there. But then there was an other group of guards that were then watching the miners.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They are not there for protection. They are there to make them keep working. But they will be an impediment.
Idea. Between Darien using the whistle and me pretending to use the whistle, perhaps we can turn the hounds on the guards.
Do you know how to whistle the command for that?
I heard the hunter doing it. I can, like, is the whistle just a whistle, or does it like it have notes to play or something? Because if it's not any more complicated than blowing the whistle,
one for R.
yeah.
Yeah.
Attack.
Well, sometimes
run.
it's
Yeah.
versus a sustain. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, what did the hunter do? And I'll explain that to Darien.
If you are confident in that you could use your whistle to overturn and attack the guards.
No, there is a risk that the guards, the hounds, will attack the prisoners instead. I am not confident in my abilities to use this at this point. Not without practice and not without hearing what it does.
Hearing what it does. As a backup plan, we can use that.
Yes, if the situation goes dire. At the moment, there were 18 guards?
Yeah, 18 guards.
There's 4 of us.
And 6 wolves.
How were they armed?
That's the thing was not kind of clear to Roscoe. There's no indication of like pole arms from what he was seeing from that distance.
I didn't see any weapons
They
visible.
have hand crossbows.
Was anybody playing an instrument like the guy we captured in bed.
I do not know, but I only scanned a quick area. I returned
Also-
promptly.
Also, it turns out that they're digging for something large, and it is doubtful they will be done in a day. They have an excellent opportunity. They will not be leaving this area in any time soon. This is an excellent place for rest.
Well, perhaps they're just digging to find a door.
Perhaps,
They could find that at any time.
either
I
way,
like what you're saying.
we can take the rest and let them dig further for now. Either way, we are not in shape to assault it at the moment.
I dig your plan.
And we come back at night with the element of surprise.
Exactly, when
I
most
dig
of them
that
are
even
sleeping.
better.
And we could investigate more stealthily there as well. Yes.
We could infiltrate the camp, release the prisoners, and have use the prisoners as additional
leverage.
Here, let me
We'll
show
give
you
them
what I
back to you
saw.
if you let us go.
Here, let me show you what I saw. And I start drawing on the ground
No,
like
no,
a
no,
general
not now,
map.
not now.
Yeah,
Let us find
them.
a place to hide and rest.
Agreed.
And not start a fire.
Okay.
We
So
should return.
are
Let's
you-
follow back this way.
so you're falling back?
At this point, it is fruitless to attack them at their full strength. There is wisdom in temperance.
On our way here, I saw an area where we can rest unmolested and still be able to be on the lookout.
It's just
Lead
as,
us.
it's just as you guys are talking about. Thormas points and he says, "I don't think they went into that encampment." And he just points. The tracks that you were following, it would appear that as it got to the clearing, instead of going through the gates, they turned and actually hugged the palisade.
Oh,
Huh.
Nice palisade. Hugging. Okay, never mind.
this, however, so this is not, however, our ultimate location that we're looking for. This is something of interest that I found. However, I will tell you, this egg, it is a big artifact.
Then we should follow the tracks while we still have them. But either way, we were supposed to rest if there was nothing in the smoke. 100 men leave notable tracks for days. Let's take the opportunity while we still can before we lose our consciousness from walking.
Perhaps, Darien, you should check to make sure, since you would recognize them, or Sir Thormus, to see if the prisoners are the I've forgotten the name now. Templars. That's it.
It could be, but either way, now is the time for rest, not to pursue forward.
Okay.
I won't object. I
How
appear to be exhausted.
How long are you gentlemen going to be resting for?
About enough to get a decent sleep for
Okay.
some of us.
I'm gonna look straight up into the sky, find the sun, and say it is about this time of day.
I would say it's the amount of time that's passed. It's
You are
kind
now
of
blind.
noonish. There.
Yeah, we'll wait until nightfall at least.
Okay.
Perhaps use the cover of the night to check out the camp and
Okay,
then decide if we want to follow the tracks or not.
With the time of year this is, I said, so we said it was past kind of midsummer. So nightfall is coming at maybe 8, 9-ish. There. Okay. Yeah, Galen, you can remove your exhausted.
Thank you.
I would also point out that this is an excellent place to continue next time.
I was thinking that. I was just going to do something first. before we do.
Okay, go ahead.
We all get ambushed and we die.
Don't step on his toes, man.
Uh-oh.
No. Just as you're doing that and you're resting, Thormas is just sitting there.
Well, always make sure we have somebody up with him, just in case.
He's just sitting there. And it's just, he hears a voice in his head. And it's just going, you can sense it. That Hispanic has an artifact. You can hear it calling to you. You want it. You need it. He's just shaking his head at the moment, and he just goes, no. I have a duty. I have to fight. How else can you fight, Thormas of Rome? You need the artifacts to protect your country, your people. He's just one man. What's one man? One man's death for the safety of millions. For the safety of your faith.
For the safety of your family.
And that's where we'll finish the stream.
Roscoe's gonna have to kill one of Darien's pals. Come on.
Again. Never mind that.
After show session, guys.
I didn't know what a palisade was. I literally had to look it up, and it showed me a car.
Yes, it was a car long.
Google
Hyundai
wooden
Palisade.
palisade. Yeah. Google wooden palisade or
You'll get a wooden car.
It's just basically
I see what it is now.
Yeah.
I mean, wooden palisade.
Basically a wooden wall.
Fences.
No. It's
a wall of logs.
No, it was palisades. It was just metal cars laid out.
That makes sense. Yeah. They make for a good wall.
Yes, and if somebody breaches the wall, all the horns go off. Honk, 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 honk.
It just
Oh no! That's the word. You guys are trying to do La Cucaracha, which is one of my people's things.
Yeah, we're trying to mock you at your people.
No, I was thinking more Woody Woodpecker myself.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
That sounded very Woody Woodpeckerish.
Yeah.
Gosh. Matt, who did that? Matt something or other.
So actually, can you ping on the map where we are right now?
So map wise, I would say you're probably more like you're probably in the house.
Okay.
There.
Cool. Well, this session was dumb. I had no fun at all.
The hills alive with the sound of puppies.
I like the creative solution of the of the fireworks and the marbles. Shame the marbles didn't work.
Yeah.
But nothing beats you sneaking up behind him.
Yeah.
And just like kneeling down behind him.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I just find it funny. I said that as a joke.
The classic slapstick. I'm behind him. You get him behind.
I just love it. I said that as a joke, and you guys went with it, and I went, you know what? It actually does work.
There's a reason why it is present in every schoolyard across the world.
Yeah.
It just works.
Mm-hmm.
Bethesda.
Does the dome thing explode in the future? Oh, we can't tell you that.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. It's an actual nuclear missile. Yeah. By the way, you're showing your stream feed to everyone now.
Oh, yep. Sorry.
Oh boy.
Oh wow, it's getting smaller.
Where's the porn?
That was interesting.
No, I was me just quickly going on Twitch, but I forgot. I was using the wrong window for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you having fun, Froggy?
So I'm going to
Hopefully
rely
Froggy's
on
having
you
fun.
guys to tell me if the audience had any questions. For
The
myself.
audience doesn't seem to have any questions now, except does the dome thing explode in the future?
I was
There
thinking
was a lot
Children
of-
Adam. Oh,
What's been happening is sometimes I get so into the story, I'm like, oh, I usually can't tell about what's going on in the stream.
Mhm.
Like the dragon, that would have been cool.
It's a dragon egg. I'm sure of it.
We'll
It's
see.
a metal. It's made of metal, so it's a metal dragon, and it's a
Here.
metal dragon egg.
It's
your hand
Thus,
is off to the side, Carlos. By the way.
the what?
thus,
On screen.
because it is such a
Your head's off to
huge
the side.
dragon egg, it's gonna be a gigantic dragon. And it's gonna eat everything. It's the end of the world, a dragon.
But the story just will never end. It'll just drag on and
Yes.
drag on.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a never-ending story.
Yeah.
Never
It's got a dragon in it, doesn't it?
You're
that's
lying.
why that's why it will drag on.
This is a song that never
Never.
ends. Yes, it goes on and on,
Who-
my friend.
Who has actually seen the Never-Ending Story, the film?
Ooh,
I probably saw it when I was very young.
it's been a while.
Relatively
It's been a while.
speaking.
Also, Zimmy has a good
How would
idea. Zimmy has a good
Oh.
idea. We should tame the dragon and just
Just
wreak
wreak
havoc
havoc.
ourselves. Right, burn the Burnlands.
Yeah, we're the new king.
As
We
I
are
said,
All I know is a
nuking.
pet dragon.
We are doing the nuking.
How hard would
Literally
it
nuking.
be
Yes.
to tame a brand new baby dragon, having zero knowledge of any of this? How hard could it be?
Not very hard. I mean,
A roll,
you-
right? I mean,
you-
I could roll a natural 20. I mean,
I mean, if you
I'll take that
train,
chance.
if
And
you
I'm
train
going
a
to
new
just-
bird-
I'm going to deceive it into thinking I'm its mummy
yeah.
or daddy.
There's a story of a master wizard who created a manual on how to do it. His name is XR.
That was good. I'm your mummy.
What about Aegon? I heard he was good with dragons too.
Aegon Targaryen, ruler of the Iron Puddle.
Yes, that one.
Oh, okay.
This is when George R.R. Martin.
You mean the Great Wizard?
Hey, so I
Sorry, my mistake. The Grand Wizard.
the Grand Wizard.
I think we may be straying into.
Will there
Dodgy
be a
territory
kitty
then.
stream?
Unfortunately, we were unable to acquire the kitty for streaming later this evening.
We could always raid afterwards into adorable kittens.
Yes, we could.
I like it.
Yeah.
Meows. Thank you. This was quite fun. That battle was pretty cool.
I just find it funny. It's like, you know what? I'll just stretch this as a running battle over, over a couple of miles for
Yeah.
everyone. I like
It worked out really well. I like how we
Yeah.
I liked it.
It's why I love Fate. Fate allows you to do it. It's the issue I would have is like the second if I was doing this in D&D, I would have to have this potentially all mapped out, or at least have firm distances in my head for me to go, yeah, that spell of yours that you can hit someone like from 320 feet away, yes, it does catch them,
Yeah, I'm digging this system. Froggy says that that fight was pretty cool. talky bad guy. I also was like, yeah, I'm gonna be quiet. I'm just gonna let him. I know the rules of cinema. I'm gonna be quiet and let the bad guy say all his shit and let out his plan, and then I'm just gonna do the thing.
And that's the other thing that I love about Fate. Fate is about it's about recreating your favorite films.
Sure.
There. And that's what I love about it. It's why it's like I want a cinematic bad guy. I'm gonna do it. You know.
Oh.
Well, D&D, it's like, don't get me wrong. I like D&D as a system. It's just sometimes when you've got it, a lot of it comes down to the players you have. Okay.
Yeah.
And the GM. If you all agree that you want to, especially in fights are sometimes one of the areas where you can get a massive disconnect in the role playing, because people it then goes from role playing to wargaming.
Yes.
Sometimes, and that, whereas you could, when you've got you can have nice, good. You can still have good role play, right? You can have sometimes the best sword fights is like one that we talk about. I do sword fighting. I do historical fencing there, and we talk about how there's a difference between whether a sword fight would be accurate and make sense, or does it tell a good story? Because if it tells a good story, it doesn't matter if it is a travesty. And like one of the ones, Princess Bride, okay? It's a fantastic example of choreographed sword fighting, of stage fighting.
Oh, yeah.
There. It's beautifully done. It tells a story, okay?
Also, the first Batman.
I'm not left-handed
The
either.
Christopher Nolan fight scene on the ice is the same way. I agree with him, yes, in that, yes, I love it when there's a fight and they talk, because it's exposition, it's visually pleasing.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of flash and dash that we love, and a lot of good action.
Yeah.
And it moves the story, and it's never just a fight to be a fight.
Yeah. This is and this is my view when it comes to storylines, is I don't mind explosions, I don't mind action if it tells a story. What I don't like is action for action's sake. There. Where it's like, is there a point to you having the helicopter in there? No, we just wanted to crash in helicopter. You know,
it's badass.
Yeah, because it's badass. This is why I find it funny. Like, if you look at it, that like if you look at the Transformer films by Michael Bay, and people just try to defend, but it's just a cartoon. It's a cartoon. It's a toy advert. And I went, yeah. So was the 1980s cartoon, but they did a better storyline.
Yes.
That's embarrassing. That it's a glorified toy advert, but they do a better storyline than Michael Bay. Like, okay, it's like, he's like, how much money has Michael Bay got to do this? And he just delivers a popcorn fest. It's a good popcorn fest, don't get me wrong. It's a
fantastic popcorn fest.
But this gives you an example that the strength of, like, say, Transformers was the CGI work done for making the Transformers work. Because I actually argue that Bumblebee expresses more emotion than Megan Fox in that film.
Yes, but that's not her role. Now, surprisingly enough, I will defend her role in that she's not just a helpless eye candy.
No.
She has
she is a strong,
agency.
confident.
She has agency and storyline. And
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Yes, she is.
She's a well-written girl character that everybody's like, oh, well, she's just gonna be the cute, sexy eye candy. Oh, she's more than that. And
no, she is confident, and I'll give you that. Yes, but she is also there to be eye candy for the boys.
Any comments?
Nope.
You're muted there.
Wooster's muted.
Oh, right. Yeah, my mute game is strong this evening, but
I used to go to pretty much every movie that came out except whatever was going to win Best Picture in the Oscars. And I could be entertained by most anything except horror movies because those are the ones I also skip. And
I find it ironic you play by Dead by Night.
Daylight, yes,
Daylight.
and I don't like watching horror movies. The
it's
closest I've gotten
different.
to horror movies was Silence of the
Room.
Lambs, which I actually enjoyed.
Mm.
I served his fava bean, or his liver with some fava beans and nice Chianti. That was good.
More suspense, but
yeah,
tracks.
that was more suspense than horror.
Yeah.
I actually found that what's the dinosaur movie there?
Jurassic Park?
World.
Jurassic Park was more of a horror movie than Silence of the Lambs, and well, it was horrible too.
I just find it funny that Michael Crichton got off on basically because Michael Crichton wrote the book Jurassic Park, but he also wrote the screenplay for Westworld.
Yes.
It's the same story.
All of his stories are the same.
Yeah.
There's a motif to his stories.
There is one crucial difference between those two stories. In one of them, you get to have sex with the things that escape. I wonder which one.
I'd argue that the dinosaurs still fuck the customers, just not the way they were expecting.
Let's go back to like even his original story. The what's the one where like a space bacteria comes from
Andromeda strain?
No,
the Andromeda strain. Yes.
Was that Michael Crichton?
That's Michael Crichton. Yes.
Really?
That's his first one.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I've read a few I've read Jurassic World. I've read, what was the other one I read?
Did he also do Timeline?
Yes.
Okay. With the
his usual
and
go
the professor
to
going
is
back
like
into the past.
Is let's set up a scenario where science does a thing.
Yeah.
But it goes wrong.
Yeah.
And science is the bad guy.
There was another one that I wrote.
That's his thing. And it works.
It does work. But he was also... But I think his main job was he was a science journalist, wasn't he? I think that's how he got it.
I don't know enough. I've read a lot of his books because I read a lot. And I just know that there's that motif of like, here's the brilliance of science. Yeah. Science is almost like magical. Look how cool this technology is. But something goes wrong. Mwahaha.
What's the... Talking about brilliant films.
What about the 13th Warrior, asks the chat.
Ooh, 13th Warrior with Antonio Banderas.
Yes.
I assume we're talking about. Which is
that is a very far different than what he's ever written.
Yeah.
I would say it does not follow that formula unless you count the technology at the time was.
It's good. It's a nice take on the idea of Beowulf.
Yes.
That's basically it. That's the main storyline that's inspired heavily. Beowulf's inspired it heavily. What is other ones that are kind of Beowulf? Beowulf has actually inspired a lot of modern films.
Yes, sure has.
Yeah, that's an old story, and old stories tend to have.
Apart from, what was it? Outlander was another one. The one where it's the guy. Outlander. It was basically it's a sci-fi one where I think it's called Outlander. It turns out that the human race is actually a technologically advanced race, but like worlds like Earth have been seeded by these advanced humans and just being left to actually just develop naturally.
Okay.
And what happens is some of these technologically advanced humans are actually fighting a war with another alien race, and they crash land in like 8th century like Denmark, and the creature gets released, and that's basically like Grendel there. And like the Beowulf is basically the person who is the survivor of the crash.
All right.
Yeah, and he basically has no remaining like advanced technology. He has to hunt this thing with sword, axe, and bow and all that. You know.
All right. Cool.
Um,
No, I've not heard of that. The book or the movie?
it was a movie there.
Okay.
Kind of 2008ish from
Oh,
memory.
okay.
So it's the
I'm a story structure guy, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm also about a cinema.
Mhm.
My good movies are more like they must show visual cinema, the visual storytelling. You, if you show visually,
Yeah.
move the story forward rather than have shitty exposition,
Yeah.
you would get tons of points for my
Um.
Back, give me a silent film.
Yeah.
Give me a silent film, and it'll be the best movie ever.
David Lynch's Dune,
Yes.
I think, has the ending kind of broke in, really breaks your canon. I'll leave it there. If just that final scene, if they just cut that out, it would actually follow the book
but
quite well.
It's beautiful and it's weird.
Yeah.
And it's David Lynch. Come on,
It's David Lynch, yeah.
I mean,
But the thing I like about David Lynch is the people talk about how the sandworms are nasty looking creatures, but the guy who designed the sandworm is the same guy who did E.T. He worked as the creatures designer for E.T. and all that. Who else? It's amazing, like when you look at like films,
thanks, Blinky.
the weird range of like how, like the interconnection between films of like, because everyone thinks of actors or they think of directors there,
Yeah.
and then they forget about, well, yeah, directors there, but if it isn't for like the cinematographer,
No, I think they get their, George Romero, who does like, hey,
he
does all
does
the
quite
zombies.
a lot, yeah.
That's, I mean, yes, he was a director, but I mean, he's known for his special effects work.
Yeah.
And so is I mean, maybe not so much today, but Harryhausen, the guy who did the stop animatronic dinosaurs and skeletons and all that. I mean, yeah, but now we just say like, oh, it's a Pixar or it's a DreamWorks or it's a Lucas World type effects driven industry.
Yeah, it's what's the one that I'm trying to think, what's a film that you think, I think it's a shame is, and this is why I like Nolan films, because he's old school films.
He does practical work.
Yeah.
Practical cinematography and in-camera effects, yes.
Yeah, and it just shows how, don't get me wrong, CGI can work, and CGI is good for stuff that would be too risky for you to do in real life, because if you were to do it in real life, you would kill your actors.
Yes.
That is an excellent segue for me to kill the stream. I'd say I think we've gone far enough. We really should get together and talk about movies.
Yeah.
We just need to agree on a time and place to do it.
Time and place
in
figure
my
of a
head
film.
because I really want to sleep because I have
it's bedtime.
Yeah, sure.
Oh darn these Europeans with their European time.
It is 1 a.m.
Damn.
6:10.
It's 3 p.m. for me. All right, everybody.
You're wrong. You're wrong because you're American.
Yeah.
This is also
I'm
true.
not American. Ha.
Yes, you are. You live in the Americas, so you're an American.
No.
Yes,
Everybody in Canada will say you're wrong.
You're
he
part
lives
of
in
North
part
America.
that
America,
stayed
you're
loyal
wrong.
to the greatest country in the world at the time.
See, I was born in North America.
You at least have a proper head of state. I give you that.
Hey,
I
we got a
give
new
you
old
that,
guy.
but-
The guy's ancient.
Yeah.
We got a new guy. He's even older than the old guy.
Yeah, but
But he's younger
Come
than
on.
our head of state.
Really?
No, he doesn't really have a high bar
Well,
to be
Biden's like what,
decent ruler,
in his
does he?
70s?
Yeah.
Queen Elizabeth is in her, I think, 80s or 90s now.
90s,
90s, yeah. Thinking about it. Oh, yeah, I forgot. It's technically also Galen's head of state.
Yeah, he is.
She's head of state of quite a few countries still.
All of them part of the British Stone.
She is 94. She'll be 95 on April 21st.
Wow.
Can I get
And
her a
that'll be the
gift?
troop. That's going to be a totally interesting trooping of the colour for her birthday.
Ah. Oh,
Seeing that
by the
I'm
way-
having to march in social distancing though.
Yeah, at least the parade will be big.
She robbed the cradle. Her spouse is 21 years younger.
Philip. I forgot Philip. But the funny thing is, Philip is actually... It's weird looking at the royal families and how they're all interrelated through, like, cousin...
Sex. They're interrelated through sex.
Well, like, they're like...
No, some of them are male and some of them are female.
It's just with the... Well, Philip is from... He's related to the Greek royal family. But they're like distant cousins. But
All right.
So is like half of the European royalty still left.
Anyways,
Oh,
yes.
I was wrong. By the way, I was wrong. That's when they got married. He got married in 1947. Sorry.
Wow.
Yeah. I was about to say, I'm going, no, they're not that.
He's actually 99.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That-
he's older.
All right,
Yeah.
let's do the thing.
Yeah,
and let you guys
let's
go to
stop
bed.
before I say something that I'm up for treason against my head of state here.
No, it was rocks in the head, not trees in the head.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Bonus
Bonus
nachos.
nacho.
Bonus nachos.
Bonus
nachos,
nachos.
everybody.